Live. You're out. Welcome, Mr. Dwayne Richards. Folks, if you're joining me for the first time here, please do me a huge favor. Type a one in the comments so we can acknowledge you for being here, and perhaps even put in your name and your city from where you're coming from, so we can acknowledge you. Before we get started on how to reduce your taxable income, and before I introduce you to a good friend of mine who is going to share with you how to exactly do that legally and ethically reduce your taxable income. I'm just going to head over to my phone for a minute, and I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this with a few of my friends. And if you know anyone yourself who can benefit from paying less tax, please do me a favor. Share this with everyone that you know. I mean, I do have a question for you as I'm sharing this with a couple of my friends right now. Who do you know? Who do you know who's overworked, underpaid, and pays too much tax? And if you know anyone like that, you definitely will want to join in right now. Tag some of your friends. We're going to keep this really informal. The individual I'm going to introduce you to is a good friend of mine. He's a CPA, and he's also a family man, and he loves to help people. So please help me welcome my good friend, Mr. Dr. Dwayne Richards. Dwayne, how you doing?
Yeah, make sure I took myself off mute. I'm doing well, Gordon. I was typing, and sometimes when you have the mic and you're typing, is like sounds like it's like raining outside. But I'm doing well. It's another day in 100% online business. You gotta love that.
Amazing. Well, somebody once said every day above ground is a good day. So this is a really good day for us. And for our friends out there, you have a job, you have a business, you're paying taxes. I can't think of a better person right now than Dwayne, perhaps to share with you how to pay less tax. And I'm talking about legally and ethically, right, Dwayne?
Yeah, either following the rules of either CRA for Revenue Canada or the IRS if clients or if people watching are in the US. It's 90%, probably about 90% of stuff is the same either side of the border. So it's really nice stuff we're going to talk about. So, it's a Canadian guy talking about taxes. It doesn't apply to me if I'm in the US. Don't worry about 90% of it.
Right?
Same stuff.
I know behind this beautiful piece that you got there, like I'm still trying to grow my first whisker, right? I think you guys know that our conversations are always very casual conversations. So Dwayne, before we start, before we talk about your expertise in helping clients save money on their taxes, what did you do before you started this segment of your business and your career?
Yeah, I'll get better at this time. Back in the day, for people that maybe don't know or do know, there was 3 different accounting professions in Canada. So I was a CMA, a certified management accountant. And what that meant?
I forgot that.
Yeah, there's 3. There's CMA,
a CGA,
and then the CAs, the chartered accountants. And everyone wanted to be a chartered accountant. I'm like, I don't want to do taxes. And there's like 20 some years later, I'm doing taxes. But I'm like, I don't want to do taxes. I don't want to do audit work. I want to go work for companies. So I went down the route of getting my CMA, and I spent 18 years, Gordon. 18 years.
18 years.
As a corporate, working for 5 or 6 different corporations.
Dwayne, that's a lifetime, my friend. That's like a
lifetime ago. Seems like a lifetime ago.
Yes.
So, and that was where I learned about running business, like multinational. The one company we were running, we did about 120 million in Canada. So I learned about about HR and payroll and working with unions and software and hardware and construction. I worked for 5 years for construction. It's really cool because you go down anyway. So, but at the end of the day, when I was working for those companies, the day before my 41st birthday, I was asked not to come back to work tomorrow. Wow. And I'm like, I was working really hard, Gordon. I thought, thoughts are free, right? I thought I was a really good employee, but someone thought otherwise.
No loyalty, is there? So you work for the you worked for a corporation, they just let you go. So 18 years, I think you mentioned to me before, 5 or 6 different companies you were with.
Yep.
So now you no longer have a job.
No job. But you know what I did have, Gordon? I did have a mortgage, and I had a car that had car payments,
Yes.
and I had two young sons,
Yeah.
and I was going through a separation. So all those things didn't go away. So
They never go away,
you
right?
still have those things.
Go away.
Uh,
Yeah.
you just had no idea where the next paycheck was coming from. And we
Yeah.
were living, and we look back now, and then people say, "Oh, living paycheck to paycheck." I'm like, man, we weren't even
Yeah.
living paycheck to
And your
paycheck.
kids still want Nike shoes, and they still want to ski lifts, and they
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it
And
never
then
stops.
still gonna put gas in the car to go to a job. You know, there's still, and I was working with an advisor at the time, and as a professional accountant, and then I got thinking, after a while, I'm like, what about the average person who doesn't have a financial advisor, who doesn't have an accounting background? How are they working with money?
Hmm.
And then I realized there's a whole different world out there around learning about money that they don't teach in school.
Right. Wow. So Dwayne, when you were in the corporate world, did you have a business at the same time?
No, it's really funny because we'll talk about that, but I didn't. But you know what I did have? You know, I had a hobby. You know,
Yeah.
Gordon, and my hobby actually paid me. But you know what I did? I was thinking about this just the other day. I was a referee for hockey. So
Yes.
for
Yes.
22 years, I refereed hockey. And you know what they do? They pay you cash, right?
Right.
So they pay you
Right.
cash. And then everyone has this mindset. It's like, oh, it's an underground gig. It's a cash gig, right? So you just take the cash and you don't
Yeah.
claim it, right?
Yeah.
None of those guys are refereeing. They're not claiming their cash. I didn't claim the cash. And you know what I got thinking? It's just, you know, but what I
Yeah.
got thinking, Gordon, is because I didn't claim the cash, I didn't claim any of my expenses.
Yes. 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 Wow.
Oh,
So your side gig, which is your passion, you're a referee,
yeah.
right, for hockey games. That's crazy. So if you claim the cash,
I could have
you
wrote off my
probably
car.
would have contributed to your RSP contribution room, and you would have probably had business write-offs.
Business
Well, that's pretty
write-offs.
cool. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
So if I would have done this, my car, you know, because I had to drive the car to get to the arena. Like I live in Etobicoke, but even like the
Yeah.
closest arena. So
Yes.
you're driving to the arena and you're driving back home. That car, I still had the car expenses.
Yeah.
I could
Right.
have
Expensive
I
maintenance.
could have claimed the business deduction for the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Wear
The
and tear,
car
depreciation.
payment, registration, gas,
Interesting.
repairs.
Wow.
Not a
Wait,
lot,
I
but
wonder
just
how many people out there today who have a job, they have a side hustle, but they're not taking advantage of home deductions.
home.
Home deductions. Tell me about home deductions.
Yeah, the home
I have a
deductions,
job.
right? Because then, yeah, as a I need a computer, right? Because
Yeah.
everything's through email, and you have to like. So I could have a portion of my home. So right now I'm in the basement. So we talked about being above ground. Well, kind of technically I'm
Yes.
kind of underground, but I'm in a basement. But it's okay. There's still lots of oxygen here. So portion, like there's a nice, pretty good office, right?
Yes.
When I'm downtown in the condo, so you can use two things, either square footage or number of rooms, like percentage of rooms. So if you have a 5 room house and you're using one room as the office, then 1/5, 20%.
Yes.
Or yeah, I usually, or square footage, right? Say, hey, but 10%. Now, quick thing on the home, it's not your mortgage. Your mortgage isn't tax deductible, but the interest can be.
Okay.
The heat, the hydro,
Okay.
property taxes. If you're in a condo, your maintenance fees. It's pretty good. Now, just as a side note.
So I have a home-based business.
Yep.
What about my landscaping that I do?
Sometimes you can't. Again, it's a little bit. It's a little not gray. It's not gray at all. It just has to be. Say, hey, if you're online, if you're in an online business, not so much. But if you're actually having clients, so I have a client. She lives up in Caledon,
Yeah.
so she has she has wellness. So she actually has
Okay.
clients come to her home.
Mm,
You know, she has a gorgeous pool, and you know what she does? She runs a book club. So
okay.
about 2 or 3 times a year, she
Okay.
has like 8, 6, 7, 8 women come over to her home, and they have a gorgeous fire pit and a pool, all that stuff, really nice. Yeah, that then a portion of that because
I like that.
she's
Listen,
using her
I like
home.
that idea. Maybe I would like maybe I should start a book club and have like some like 8 or 9 amazing,
Just
wonderful women.
make sure you follow the COVID rules, Gordon. Make sure you follow the COVID rules. But you can still COVID's not going to last
Yeah,
forever. But this is a great plan. We're starting to put plans in place. Don't wait till 2021. This is the time right now to put the plans in
yeah,
place for the 2021 tax year. Oops.
I love that. So Dwayne, talk to me.
Home.
Is
So we talked about car, and then home. Your
your
home
car,
expenses is number 2
right?
in big categories.
Wow. So in our Landing for Success community, we have a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, entrepreneurs. They have network marketing businesses. They have digital marketing businesses. Some of them even have their health and wellness business inside their home,
Mhm.
right? Um, from your experience, then, when you say you could show someone how to reduce their taxable income, most of the clients that you talk to, are they taking advantage of all the tax deductions?
No, not because they don't really
No.
know, right? And yeah, yeah, a quick, again, we don't have to name names, but just an example of one of the clients I work with. So
Okay.
the great thing is like she's out in Vancouver. I've actually
Vancouver?
never met her
No, no,
personally.
no, no, no. You're in Toronto and you have a client in Vancouver?
Yeah, it's
That's cool.
amazing. Because again, we have WhatsApp and you have Facebook,
Yeah.
Zoom calls, everything's online. So use DocuSign, um, send me stuff, use Google. So she's in Vancouver. She has a good corporate job in Vancouver.
Nice.
She works for the city. And
Okay.
and you know what? 2 years ago, she came to me and I got actually referred to her, or she got referred to me. And she spent almost she spent I won't even say the amount. She spent a lot of money doing Tony Robbins courses,
Yes, of course.
personal development. So you're like, what? Here's someone doing a corporate job, and
Yes.
she's doing personal
Robbins,
development.
Unleash the Power is coming up
Ah,
in a couple of
unleash your
weeks.
power. So and what she did was because she had her corporate job, which is good, but
Yes.
because she had a home-based business, she's in a network marketing company.
Yes.
Because she's in that network marketing company, her personal development expenses to go get self improvement, improve herself by taking courses with Tony Robbins, we were able to write off. So we actually created a business loss. And you're like, what?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't recommend it forever, but early on is to pay a little, spend her expenses were greater than her income in her business.
Mhm.
But because she had income tax paid from source at her job, we triggered a $10,000 refund.
Wow. 10 grand. Come on.
10 grand.
That can't be true.
It is true.
That can't be true. I hear like,
And we did it
here,
twice. We
I
did it
hear
in we did
twice.
it in 2018 and then we did it again in 2019.
Wow. 10 grand.
10 grand.
What do I sign? What do I sign with you?
I'll send it to you. It's called a T 1013 and it makes me your tax representative. You just sign a form. It says, I want Dwayne Richards. I'm an agent. You know, Gordon, I'm actually an agent. Some of you should have to remember that. I'm actually an agent for Canada Revenue Agency.
Wow.
I have my ID number, which allows me to file electronically tax returns for my clients.
Wow. Now, talk to me about that because there are people who file tax returns, and we had a conversation before, and you told me that. And what I love about you, Dwayne, is you're so good at just recognizing everybody their abilities as well. And you're saying there's a lot of people who do file taxes. Some of the difference between them and what you do is you understand. You actually understand from the corporate and the business side the deductions that people are missing out when they just have someone just
Yeah.
file their taxes like your client that just got back $10,000.
Yeah, and that's some of the differences. So one of the things is as a CPA, I am a good standing CPA, so I pay my fees every year, and that gives me this. But as part of that,
Yes.
I'm not just a tax preparer, because you can go to H&R Block and you can take or Liberty Tax, you can take your shoebox of receipts, Gordon. You can go to H&R Block. They're nice. They've been around for ages. You'll get a nice person and they'll take all of your receipts and they'll punch it in and they'll calculate a tax, either liability, a tax owed, or tax refund.
Yep.
They'll even ask if you want to get, they'll take a chunk of your money if you want your tax refund super fast. That's nice, right? Hey, just like only cost you like 10%. You can have your money tomorrow. But they don't ask you extra questions. So they don't ask you, hey, by the way, do you have a network marketing business? Because I got your T4 statement, but guess what? Not all network marketing companies issue what they call, it's a little technical, but there's a T4A. So it's a commission only employee. Not all companies issue those. So if I just go in, and I can log into CRA, I can download all of your tax slips, Gordon.
Yep.
And if I just say, oh, that's it, good. But if I don't ask you any extra questions, maybe there's stuff that's missing.
Right, right.
And what happens is they sign it saying, you sign it. I file your return. You sign it saying, to your knowledge, everything's correct. It's only as correct as the information that you, the taxpayer, gave me, the accountant. But if I have a checklist, say, hey, Gordon, did you get a new car this year? Because last year we were expensing this car. Did you get a new car this year? And you're like, oh yeah, I did get a new car.
Right,
We need to change that. Hey, Gordon, do you have any new family members?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you have grandchildren, 2 new grandchildren. That doesn't count. But if you're a young couple and all of a sudden you have a baby and your accountant.
Tax credits, right? Also, so I got a question for you, Dwayne. You mentioned somebody could come into you with a shoebox. That was kind of like in the past with a shoebox.
Oh, I get a grocery bag.
In fact, there were times when I didn't even have a shoebox. It was so messed up.
Yeah.
How do you keep your clients organized so they don't miss out on receipts and deductions?
This is and you actually gave me this idea probably it was like 3-4 years ago. So one of my clients, so she actually became a tax client this year. We actually gave her this system a couple of years ago, and we
I want 10% of no. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
exactly.
I'm just kidding.
And we gave her that the system for success, or how to save money on your taxes. The system.
Yeah.
So if someone's watching and they're still here, or they're just watching the replay. I love watching replays too. So if you want to know the secret, there's no secrets. Actually, there isn't. It's just you want to know the system to never misplace another receipt. All they have to do is just comment the word system, because there's a system to it, and it's really easy.
Comment. Okay, and what happens if they write the word system in the comment?
Then I'll reach out to them and I'll share with them the system to never miss another receipt. Because you know what a receipt is, Gordon. So for example, you go downtown and you pay for parking, $20, right? $20 for parking.
Yeah.
And you pay cash. People pay cash and they get that little slip of paper, you put it on your dash, and then you come back to your car, you crumple it up and you throw it in the garbage. But if your marginal tax rate is 30%, you just threw away 30% of $20, which is roughly about $6.
Wow.
You that little piece of paper, that's less than a penny, is actually worth $6.
Wow.
To your business. Don't you think it'd be important to keep that?
Yeah.
Piece of paper.
So visualize like just taking $6 and throwing it out the window. Right, if it's a $200 bill and you lose that receipt, you just you take $60 and you throw it out the window.
Throw it out the window. Yeah.
Wow.
So all right. Well, it's important to have that. So again, I don't, because it's and that's probably like there's 4 common mistakes, And that's like number 3 is, the deductions. So you can deduct parking, Gordon.
Yes.
That I've educated you now on, you can deduct parking,
Yes.
but you miss out, you don't keep all of your parking receipts for the whole year. Maybe you only claim half of your receipts.
Okay.
Well, why are you only claiming half? Why wouldn't you claim all of them?
Yeah, that makes sense. So you talked about home expenses.
Yep.
Right? And you talked about automotive expenses. Now you talked about, so that's part. What other expenses? Entertainment. Can I write off entertainment?
Entertainment, 50%, right? So
Only
50%.
50%.
Yeah, because
I just write off 100%.
Not if it's local. So if it's traveling, so if we get on a, when we get to go on a plane again, and we get I know I want to go with you and you were on yesterday with Roy, right? Roy, and you talked about going to Hawaii. I'm like, I'd like to go to Hawaii with those two guys.
Yes. Yes.
So when we hop on the plane, go to Hawaii, and then we go out for dinner in Hawaii, 100%. You can deduct 100% because you can't go back home for dinner, right? You're in Hawaii. You can't. It's not. But what they're saying is, if you're home, like if you're in the GTA,
yes,
and we just meet for a cup of coffee, they're like, well, Gordon, you're going to drink coffee anyway, so we're only going to let you take 50% of that. So that's why we always say, meet a friend.
Right.
Meet a friend for coffee, because if you and I meet for coffee and I buy you your coffee, so let's say it's $5, $5. Okay, we're at Starbucks. It's $5, so it costs me $10. But $5 of that I can deduct on my taxes.
Love it.
And then next time, you buy me coffee. So we still got to deduct our, but we just didn't. If I just go and I'm like working remote, if Starbucks is my remote working, and I'm sitting at Starbucks, I'm drinking coffee while I'm working, it's not tax deductible.
Okay.
Because you're going to drink coffee anyway. It truly has to be. And then what I always tell people, my clients, is on the back of the receipt or somewhere on the receipt, just write who you had coffee with, or who you had lunch with, or who you had dinner with.
Write down the name.
Yeah. And so the meals and entertainment, so 50%, but 50% is still better than no percent, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you put that together with the book Never Eat Alone, you're like, wow.
What's the name of the book?
I haven't read it, but I've seen it. But there's a book called Never Eat Alone.
Never Eat Alone. Okay.
Yeah, and
I'm going to put that in the comment for the folks here. So Dwayne,
but that's a tax strategy for never eating alone.
I had never been to Jamaica. Back in February, we held a business retreat for a client for 7 days. So the entire 7 days, we were there for learning.
Travel's the other big one, Gordon. So we talked about 5 areas that are tax deductible. If you have a business, travel is tax deductible.
So back in February, was that tax deductible? I hosted the event.
There's a couple criteria. Okay. So you have to plan ahead.
I planned ahead. We planned it like 6 months ahead. We organized it. We planned it. We sold a business retreat.
Yeah, so it's business retreat, and then there has to be there has to be a portion of it that's
we had
business related.
4 hours a day was all dedicated to learning and training.
Yeah. Personal growth. So that whole thing is, so sometimes people they're like, what happens is people like go to Florida, right? So they're in Florida, and then they're like, hey, well, I'm here, I'm going to walk down the street and I'm going to jump in and go to like a timeshare presentation while I'm in Florida. That's not, because there's no trail. You didn't do any planning ahead of time. Right. So once you're in Florida, you can't go prospecting. You can't go to Florida and then go knock on some doors and try and sell some widgets. Right. You can't do that. But what you can do, so for example, what I did last year, we went to a 3-day conference in England.
Yes.
So we flew to England, tax deductible.
Okay.
3 days in 3 days in Oxford at a hotel for the conference.
Yes.
Tax deductible. And at the end of the conference, we went to London and we spent 5 days with family.
Yes.
Not tax deductible.
Right. So portions of it was
80% or more was the airfare back and forth, the hotel. Now, staying with Charmaine's aunt, we didn't have any costs, just the time.
It's amazing.
But we had planned it all out ahead of time, right? So again, we had planned the trip, the conference. There's a chain of email. There's a registration fee, all that stuff. So there's
the documentation. I know
paper trail. Paper trail.
I like that.
And then it's tax deductible.
Amazing. So Dwayne, let me answer this. Tax season is coming up.
Yeah.
Next year. So
if somebody hasn't done their taxes for this year, like if someone hasn't done their taxes for 2019, tax season year runs all year.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. If someone hasn't, you told me one time you had a client who didn't file taxes for how many years? 10 years. So give me 2 or 3 reasons why they didn't file their taxes. Yeah, why didn't they file their taxes?
Why does
it not to be like that detailed? Like,
generally, it's overwhelm.
Okay.
Overwhelm, where maybe something changed, right? So, and these were people that had corporate jobs, because some people are like, I can see the obvious, like for me, when all of a sudden I left my corporate job and I became self-employed, and it became, even as an accountant, it became a bit overwhelming because there's a whole new section of the tax, the tax return that I didn't know about, the self-employment.
They didn't file their taxes for 10 years. What were they doing for 10? Didn't they know who you are? Didn't they know Dwayne Richards?
for 5 of the years they did. Actually, one was a pretty close friend, and it's just one part. So part of it's overwhelm.
Okay, so what else were they afraid of?
Part of it is the embarrassment.
Okay,
because so they got over their you need to help. You need to help. You need help, but it's embarrassing asking for help.
Okay, yeah.
Part of it was that they knew. This is a really common one. So it's not, actually, there's 2 sides of it. So one, they knew they always got a refund. I got a refund. I don't need to file tax. I don't need to file my tax return on time. I know I'm getting money back.
Okay.
If you know you're getting money back, file it as soon as possible, because Revenue Canada does not pay you interest. They charge you interest, but they don't pay you interest.
They're going to keep your money and they're going to earn the interest.
Yeah.
Is there any
I want to find out how much money is sitting there like unclaimed. It's got to be big.
Is there any way we could buy shares
in Revenue Canada? Yeah, maybe we could factor. Maybe you'll have the factoring companies. They could Revenue Canada could actually sell their receivables, but this is actually money that they owe, so they're not racing to. CRA is not calling you, Gordon, to arrest you for not filing your taxes when you have a refund.
It's funny. I play ball hockey, Dwayne, with an immense league, and I would say half the guys work for the CRA.
Yeah.
And I'm always careful. I can't slash that guy who's with the CRA. So.
Red flag on my guy. The other one is, and this happened to me, so it's a bit personal, but hey, I've learned. The biggest one, it's only a mistake if we do it twice, Gordon. The first time we just didn't know better. The second time you knew better. The second time's a mistake. So the first time was, we just, actually it was with my sales tax. So I didn't file my HST return on time, because when I calculated it, I'm like, oh, damn, I owe money.
Yeah.
But guess what? I had used my HST, the money I had collected from my clients for HST. I used it. I didn't put it in an account. Because again, business owners, you're just an agent for Revenue Canada. When you collect money on HST, it's not yours. You're just the agent. You have to turn around and send that back to CRA. And what I used it for, I used it to pay like the car, and I used it to pay the mortgage, and I used it for living expenses. I used it for cash flow. So come January, I did the calculation. I'm like, oh man, I owe like $3,000. And people are like, oh, $3,000. That's like nothing. It's something when in February, your contract ends and you're not making any money again. And you're like, I don't have $3,000 to pay the mortgage, let alone $3,000 to pay the mortgage and Revenue Canada. So I had a choice, right? So I have my choice. I have $3,000. I can pay rent, or I can pay Revenue Canada. Which one do you pay?
Wow.
And what I did, I made the mistake of not filing the return
Right.
because I thought, oh, I don't have the money, so I'm just not going to file
And
it.
file it on time, right?
What I should have done, not should on ourselves, but in hindsight, a better option would have been file the return on time, avoid late penalties,
So you don't have late fees.
and then say, hey, I'm a little bit tight on cash flow. Can I do a payment plan?
Nice.
And they will. They'll say, hey, pay us over the, pay us $100 or pay us monthly amounts over the next whatever.
Yeah.
And you're good. And I would have saved myself that late penalty filing.
Right. Right.
But when you're in that moment, or you're not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
And that's why when you work,
Revenue Canada, like you said, right, on our side conversations, they're amazing. They tell you all the rules, and if you play by the rules, you have legitimate deductions. So talk to me about again this client who didn't file for 10 years. Did they end up paying a big? I think you just said they got a refund.
Yeah, so actually, it's kind of weird. I'm actually working with my third or fourth client,
Right.
10 years. And you're like, wow, I guess I have a 10-year attraction or something.
So you got all these clients like 10 years behind. You should write a book, 10 years behind.
10 years behind. 10 years later.
No need to run from the IRA.
Yeah, so here's one.
IRS.
So
IRS.
one is she's a registered nurse. So you can relate. Your wife's in the healthcare business.
Yes.
And these people, I have actually 3 clients who are nurses.
Yes.
Kind of building a bit of a niche for healthcare professionals, I guess. But again, they're not that they're bad with their money. They have a good paycheck, but they're overwhelmed with like, Gordon, you work a 12-hour shift, and you come home, you're not wanting to like do your taxes.
No.
And sometimes, and all of them are single. Not that matters, but you don't necessarily have a partner. You don't necessarily have that support, like that support structure or someone to nag you. Sometimes it's more than nagging, but that's not nagging. It's only nagging because they're reminding us about stuff that we know we need to do. So what happens is what happens, Revenue Canada this summer actually filed, it's really not bad, but they filed 20, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, they skipped 16 and they went to 17 because 16 she had a refund. They didn't file that one for her. They filed all the other ones that you owe us, and it was like $120, like $200, $200.
Got it.
And what happened was and the first 2011 was a big one. 2011 was like $3,000. But what happened was when they filed them, they didn't take into consideration she had a student loan. They just said T4 income, tax. And all we did is we went back in those years, we just went back and we added the student loan, and we went from a $200 amount owed to a $500 refund.
Incredible. Love it.
Not just the refund, Gordon.
Amazing.
That will be the elimination of the late fee.
Yeah.
Plus 8 years of interest.
Yeah. Look, that's about $1,000 savings, right? Because you're $200 if you're in a highest tax bracket. It's like you got to make $400 to pay $200. And then on the reverse, getting $500 if you're at the highest tax bracket, that's like making $1,000.
Yeah. And then I bet people are gonna. So we should have said this at the beginning, because some people are gonna listen and say, "Oh, well, that guy must be really expensive, right?" Because it must be really expensive to have like a professional. Someone has a professional designation to do your tax returns, right, Gordon? Really expensive. For this person, get it self-employed, I can adjust my fees. So I have like 3 different rates. So rate for this person, but if we're doing 10 years, it's not really 10 years, 10 times the work.
Right.
There's over. So I'll be upfront. I'm charging her $125 a return,
right,
which is also tax deductible.
Amazing.
And so my cost is $100 plus tax. And then she's going to get $500. So Gordon, here's the deal. It's like that. You're going to give me $100, and not me personally, but someone's going to give you $500.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
How many times do you want to do that?
Hey,
every
how many
year.
$100 bills do you want to give me? Do you want me to give you right now?
How many years do you, how many years?
I'll give you $100 right now.
Yeah, 100. So for next year, for 2020, you give me $100. No promises,
Yeah,
but we will convert that $100 into ideally into a tax refund, all dependent on your numbers. So there's no promises because it's each case is individual, but we'll show you because generally I always say I can 99 times out of 100, I find my clients money, or
okay,
if you're doing really well in your business, Gordon, you still may have to pay tax, but
sure.
will reduce the amount of tax that you owe.
Love it.
Because sometimes, like if you're making $1 million and you're cash flow positive,
Yes,
you're going to have to pay a bit of tax.
of course.
We live in Canada, so it's okay paying a bit of tax. Like taxes go to healthcare, taxes go to our roads, taxes go to the Liberal government, taxes go to the provincial government. We got to pay tax.
Sure.
Taxes go to the school boards.
Who
Your
wants,
daughters.
potholes, right?
Yeah,
Who
your
wants
daughter's a
potholes?
teacher. So the teachers, we still want our teachers to get paid. We
Absolutely.
still want your wife who's
Yep,
in nursing. We still want your wife to get paid. So we still have to pay taxes. We just
yes,
want to pay our
of course. Just pay
share.
your fair share.
Yeah.
Pay your fair share. Hire somebody like you, Dwayne. Reduce
Yeah.
ethically, legally, right, what you need to pay. So, Dwayne, my last question for you. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today. We're coming up to bottom of our hour here. And if you guys are watching, this is my good friend, Dwayne Richards. He's a CPA, literally helps people put more money in their pockets, either by reducing their taxable income. But you heard earlier, somebody he's got who didn't file taxes for 10 years. So if you're behind in your taxes, don't go to sleep, right? Stress out. Find someone that you can that's documented like Dwayne, or reach out to Dwayne and have them right professionally take a look at how he can actually help you sleep better at night. And you may be shocked, like some of Dwayne's clients, you're actually getting a tax refund, right? Instead of you just running scared. Dwayne, what what do you say to somebody right now during the pandemic? Because I know some people are thinking business isn't going so well right now. Like we said earlier, I may not be able to afford to pay the taxes. What would you say to somebody like that right now? How can you help?
Yeah, it's a great question. Part of it is it's the conversation's free, right? Like it's to have that because lots of people that like it's our own beliefs, right? Unless someone unless they're a tax expert or a business expert, they're like, we don't know what we don't know. So part of it is just to have that conversation. If it's someone that's in a corporate job or or maybe someone who's been off of work, right? And they collected their CERB, they got their CERB benefits. And then they're like, and they're not, it's either they're still on that and they're like, I'm not sure what I need to do. Now's a good time as well to kind of do that quick calculation to say, here's what your tax liability is. And then if they haven't started a side business, again, like you, I'm not in any network marketing companies. So I'm not going to like push something on someone. I'm just going to show them to say, doesn't have to be even network marketing. Here's the tax advantages of starting a home-based business.
Start if you're good
today.
If you're good at bookkeeping, start a side business and do bookkeeping.
So the best one, Gordon, is I have 2 clients who are authors.
Okay.
We should have started this one at the beginning, but we'll say this.
Okay.
We'll say this one. We'll redo another one about this. So 3 clients.
Okay.
Who are authors.
Okay.
Who originally.
They're full-time offers, or do they have jobs as well?
When they wrote their book and paid someone book, they never claimed any of those expenses.
Did they have a job?
And they paid income tax.
Did they have jobs at the time?
They had jobs or were retired and were paying taxes on their retirement income, and they never claimed the costs of writing their book.
So they wrote their book for the business of for business purposes.
Yep.
And they didn't write it up. Okay, give me their names. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what we know what we're doing though, Gordon,
Yes.
And we've done it successfully for one of them, and we're working on the other two.
Yes.
Is we're going to go back and refile their tax returns. So I did it for a client. So she filed the tax return as she did it herself. And then we went back and we filed 2015, 2016, 2017, three tax years.
Yes.
And she got
I love that. So you can go back. How many years can you go back?
7.
7 years. Okay.
And in total, those 3 years,
yes,
total tax refund, $7,500.
Wow. That's amazing.
Free money.
Dwayne, see, we have, as you know, we have a co-author book series here. We're constantly helping individuals become published authors. So if any of our authors in the Landing for Success community, if you're hearing this and it's something that you're interested in learning more on how you can write off your publishing expenses, reach out to Dwayne. Dwayne, I got a question for you, folks. So this is kind of a little bit of a self-promotion here. Landing for Success, you have been to our Landing for Success virtual speed networking event. There's actually one coming up on November 24th. And I think I provided the link on here where someone can actually go register and get a free ticket. There's business owners there, there's entrepreneurs there. From your perspective in 30 seconds or 60 seconds or less, what was your experience with the Landing for Success speed networking event?
It was really good. And part of it is also expanding our networks, just expanding like different people in different, like people that you wouldn't necessarily meet. And just because again, sometimes we just get comfortable in our own little circles, and just yourself and Jay, you're just casting a bigger net of a network. So it's great to go there and meet new people. The other part is that you really, it's tough, right? Because I think Kelly and Gabby and Tam, I'll do a really good job. And it's being succinct, right? Because it's like 30 seconds and it's like they hit the mute button and you're like, I didn't get to say what I wanted to say because you wasted your time. So that's the best part, is like to really, how do you get a succinct message so that people are curious in 30 seconds?
Yes.
Or become a sponsor and get 2 minutes.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Dwayne, any final thoughts for the folks who are watching right now on what are some things that maybe mistakes they're making when it comes to their taxes? Any final thoughts or ideas or tips that you can give them to better make sure that they've got all of their bases covered?
Call a professional.
Call a professional.
It's self-serving, which is okay to be self-serving. Because Gordon, you don't have a dentist chair at home, do you? Like you don't.
I wouldn't want to do my own teeth.
I'm not buying a drill. I'm not drilling my own teeth. I used dental floss the other day, but I'm not. That's about it, right? I brush my teeth, and Gordon, you don't.
I'm not a heart surgeon. Let me operate on my own heart.
It's a place that we know a guy who is a heart surgeon. Remember that story? That's a different guy. We'll talk about him a different day. But hey, Gordon, do you fix? I know you have a friend. I see photos of you with the Jeeps, right? Are you crawling underneath your own car to change your oil?
No way. No.
What?
No.
It's so inexpensive. You just get a jug of oil from Canadian Tire. You get an oil filter. You need a wrench. You must do that, right? Yourself? You do that yourself?
No.
What? No. You don't change your own oil. Right? So why? I have a new client, and she told me back before she met me, she said she spent something like 40 hours.
Wow.
Assembling all of her receipts.
Right.
So I did the math. I said, really quick. I said, how much she does therapy work. How much do you charge a client? $100. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Right?
Wow.
And I'm like, so if if you weren't spending an hour doing like paperwork for your taxes,
That's
you
$4,000, right?
consider the client,
4,000.
right?
You get $4,000 with,
You're a $4,000 bookkeeper.
yeah,
You're the most expensive bookkeeper I know.
yeah,
So
right.
one, and I won't name his name, but a gentleman that actually the gentleman that I was at his event the very first time I met you, he said, if you want to be a millionaire and just work regular hours,
Yes.
it works out to be like $531 an hour, right?
Hmm.
So if you want to be a millionaire, then your hourly rate, Gordon, is like, I like round numbers, say it's $500 an hour is your hourly rate.
Okay.
Anything that you're doing than $500 an hour that can be outsourced for less than $500 an hour, outsource it.
Yes.
Now you have to, I'd agree. Like, you have to still have to have the money to pay the vendors, right? So if you don't have the
Yes.
$500 or if you don't have the $100,
Of course.
but here's what I do with my clients is I file the tax return and 9 times out of 10, they're getting a tax refund. So I know that
9 out of 10 times.
we're
I mean,
triggering my own payment.
If I had those odds at Vegas, I'd be there every day.
Yeah. Or at least I'm reducing the
Wow.
amount. And the other 1 out of 10, I'm reducing the amount that they owe. So not necessarily are they not paying, they're not getting a refund, but they're reducing the amount that they thought they were going to have to pay.
That's saving money too, isn't it?
Saving money. So it's still saving money. It's just everyone's, sometimes people have this big, I gotta get this big tax refund. And I'm like, but you made like $200,000 in your business. You're not getting a big refund because you, and that's a different story, but if you don't pay any tax, I have one last quick story. I have a client, and so we did her stuff the first time. She sent it, and we sent it off, and she's like, "Oh, but I'm not getting a refund." I'm like, "Yeah, but you didn't actually pay any tax. So you earned." She had like say $30,000 of revenue in her business, but because she's self-employed, she never actually made any tax payments.
Right.
So if you're not making any tax payments, you're not getting any refunds.
Right.
So don't come to me and say, "Oh, where's my refund?" It's like, no, we're saving you money. First step is we're saving you money on your taxes,
Right.
potentially saving the amount that you owe. And but if you have that corporate job, or if you have that job that's taking source deductions, that's what triggers tax refunds. So
love it.
Not quite Tony Robbins, the disclaimers, but it's kind of like we have to put a little disclaimer.
So whether people want to reduce their taxable income and pay less tax or get a tax refund, they definitely agree with you. You know, go talk to a professional. I've got somebody coming in next week to clean their chimney. So I'm not going to clean my own chimney. I'll probably burn the house down.
My dad used to clean his own chimney, so he actually had like the brush, right? And then he did it for a number because he was as a teacher and when he was retired, so he had time. And you got to go up and do it a couple like once a year, but still, it's like I'm not so great with heights. I don't really want to climb a 40-foot ladder to hang out on top of a chimney.
Exactly.
No.
Awesome. Well, Dwayne, before I let you go, I'm going to put you on the hot seat here with a couple of questions.
Okay.
You okay with that? What's your favorite color?
I'm wearing it today. It's blue. People say I look good in blue because
there you go. We both have good taste.
It accents the colors of my eyes. So and blue is about communication. So if people want to be better communicators, wear blue.
Blue eyes. Well, my guest yesterday, who's also a mutual friend of yours, Roy Cleves, the accidental real estate millionaire, his favorite color was blue because he liked the ocean blue.
The ocean blue, turquoise blue.
2 for 2. What's your favorite ice cream?
Favorite ice cream? That's pretty good. We have actually cut back on ice cream. So it's a bit of, we cut back on the sugar. So ice cream it's really tasty.
All right, give me a sherbet or something.
No, sherbet's no. If you ask for ice cream, so it's those ones. It's like that's it's like Haagen-Dazs. It's like chocolate.
Yeah, Haagen-Dazs. Chocolate. Everything about it is good.
Chocolate with the peanut butter. Chocolate and peanut butter.
Wow. Hey,
and you just get the small. You just get those.
Write down your favorite ice cream. Buy a little container.
Yeah, we used to get those, and we'd sit there. So Charmaine and I would buy that, and you sit there and you eat it right out of the container.
Are you kidding? I'd be like, Charmaine, I ain't sharing mine. Like, come on.
No, we shared. for sure. And then was someone had to have the willpower to like get up and then take it and put it back in the fridge because they're pretty small, right?
Yeah.
But they're really rich. So it was the willpower to like not eat the whole thing in one
sitting. Awesome. Well, last question, Dwayne. You know, you have such a servant's heart. You're always looking at serving and helping other people. I want to ask a question. If you, like this very second right now, if you could wave a magic wand and you could do something for you, right? For you, like not somebody else. Like I know you're taking care of the kids right now during, right, in the next 2 weeks, and you got COVID and everything. You're always taking care of other people. If you could do one thing for you, and you could wave that magic wand right now, what would you do? What would you want to do for yourself right now?
Do for myself.
Not, this isn't for somebody else. This is for you.
I know I probably should, like, it could be something, but you know, it's like life is really good right now, Gordon. We do a lot of it already, so like.
I'm saying you're probably thinking like, what can I do for Charmaine? What can I do?
No. Like
I
last
don't
week
want that. What if you could wave a magic wand and it's for Dwayne? What would you do?
I do it every day though. It's like oh, like sometimes I read a book. I was like reading my book this morning. Like sometimes to golf. I'm like I golfed 4 times last week, Gordon. 4 times last week.
Nice.
I'm like
maybe Tiger Woods could take some lessons from you.
I watched the highlight and it brought back not memories, but it just brought like I did like we've all done that, right? Like so someone who was a much better golfer than I am. She posted when she watched that, she's like, it was relatable, right? It's cringeworthy. Like you really feel bad for him because we've all done it. We've all kind of like chunked one into the water and chunked a second one into the water. And then what was amazing, even Charmaine's liking golf. Even Charmaine commented, she's like, you know what was amazing, Gordon? The very next, because lots of guys would have I've seen them. I volunteered. I won't name names. I've seen guys like walk off the course, right? He went out and he birdied the next hole.
Incredible.
So the mind, and he's say what you want about his body. His body's breaking down on him, but the mindset to go out and hit the next tee shot and birdie the next hole. And he actually birdied 3 or 4 of the last 6 holes on the back 9 that day. Wow. And he could have easily have said, because guys do this, right?
I'm done, right? I'm giving up.
They're injured. And he could have easily had the doctor come and say, yeah, like Tiger, you can't even bend your back. You're injured, just withdraw.
Right.
And he didn't do that. He didn't quit.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So you know what I do need, Gordon? My car, it's not too bad, but my car is a little bit dirty, right? So it needs a wash. So
there you go. Hey,
so as a car wash. So someone could wash my car for me. Oh. Yeah. Right, so I could use a car. I could use a car wash.
How much do I get paid? How much do I? Listen, we'll talk about that another day because I know some of the other things. We don't have time to talk about everything, Dwayne. I know you shared with me before, even when your kids are old enough.
We'll talk about that next time because I made and this would be we'll do another one for parents because about 2 months ago now, a month and a half ago, I invested in my son. And lots of people are like, you're like, oh, what, you buying some sneakers or something, right? Could be a basketball player, football cleats. I'm like, nope, no football, no basketball, no sports going on right now, right? So people aren't really able to invest in their kids. You know what we did? We went in as a partnership and we bought a snowblower.
Amazing.
And he's going to run he's already got some clients and he's going to do a snow blowing, shoveling business this winter. And we bought a snowblower. And we're showing them the example of that snowblower is an asset because we can actually, with a bit of manpower behind it, that snowblower will actually make him money.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
I'll do another one about for parents and parents with kids about encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit. I know like our mutual friend Mike Kett has some great stories too about what his kids are doing. But yeah, just again, some different ways for kids to get them.
Amazing. Well, Dwayne, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, if
There's
you're here
so many examples right now. I have a colleague, somebody I know is out in Alberta, and she's posting, she's like, I need someone to like shovel my snow. I need someone to put up Christmas lights. I need somebody to do so many different things that side hustle jobs that people could do. So that's
Awesome.
another story for a different day. All right. Thank you so much, Gordon. I got to go do some
Dwayne.
taxes.
Thank you, Dwayne. Folks, all right, Dwayne, thank you. So I'm going to wrap up here real quick. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us, my friend Dwayne Richards. If you have any questions and you need help with your taxes, leave a comment or direct message me. I'm happy to connect you with Dwayne Richards. Yesterday we had our guest yesterday was Roy Cleese, the accidental real estate millionaire. Right. So with all the money you're going to make in the real estate industry, you may be paying taxes. So you may need to hook up with someone like Dwayne and learn how to minimize, right, reduce your taxable income, or maybe even get a tax refund. And remember, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., you can join me with Akil, who is a certified financial planner, and you're going to learn from him how, by accident as well, right? How he started out studying in the medical field, and how he ended up being a financial advisor, and he's helped financial advisors and clients make a lot of money. So if you're looking for ways to learn how to start investing, right, your money, you've got two incredible individuals like you just heard from Dwayne, and on how to save money, invest money as well, and you'll have Akil tomorrow. And don't forget, I posted the link on here. November 24th is our next online virtual speed networking event. Go there, grab a ticket, it's free. And I look forward to seeing you at our event next Tuesday. So thank you so much for joining me. And until the next time, have an amazing, amazing day.